Hello, everyone. I'm gonna try and check comments here. You guys know I'm doing this for the millionth time. If you guys are tuned in, please let me know where you're listening from. Hi, everyone. I'm gonna try and check the comments on my phone. We're gonna have a fun conversation today because I feel spicy today, and it's gonna be a good one. Let's see. We're gonna have a fun conversation today. Okay, I feel spicy today, and it's gonna be a good one. We gotta mute that. We can't see. Hi, Moz. Hi, Willie. Hi from San Diego. Hi, Amy. Oh my God. Yay. So nice to be here in virtual space with you. Looking forward to booking a session with you soon. Thank you for all your work that you do. Whoever else is listening, please type in the comments. Let me know where you're listening from. Hope you guys are all having a beautiful Sunday. If you're joining me for the first time, so the way that I usually like to do this is I present a topic and we're going to discuss it. So I love to hear some feedback. I would love to hear some energy, and I would love to hear what your thoughts are on a lot of these topics. So today we're going to be talking about being in flow versus being in avoidance, right? And this has been coming up so much, not only just in my clients but in myself as well. You know, sometimes we have this illusion that we're in flow, but in reality, we're actually avoiding something, right? So we use the guise of spirituality as like, oh, I'm surrendered. Oh, whatever's meant to be is going to be. But in reality, is it our ego that's trying to stop us from taking that action forward and trying to keep us in our small, disempowered place, right? And so when we say, I trust the universe that is going to take care of it for me, and then we go back to living out of alignment, what do we then expect to happen, right? Because part of being in alignment and part of utilizing these universal laws and these universal energies to help empower us, to help us move forward in our evolution, in our transcendence, right? We actually have to show up for it. We actually have to take action and bring our energy forth and come from a place of, okay, I'm going to make this a co-creative experience in which I show up, the universe shows up, and then from that place, we can create some quantum shifts in our lives, right? Tell me how you guys are feeling about this. Let's see. Willie Hurtado. Hello. Hi, Maz. Yes. Let me know. I know a lot of you guys are my clients in here, so I know that you guys have situations in which you can relate to this because we've worked on this. I think for some of you, you guys have really seen that as much as you show up for your calls with me, as much as I can sit here and pour energy into you and pour all of this advice and insight and share practices and tools and tips and hacks and hypnotherapists and ayahuasca or whatever it is, I try to give you as many shortcuts as possible, right? Because I had to walk this path with zero shortcuts, and I had to fall on my face a million times before I realized that I was inconsistent and I lacked discipline and I lacked, that drive to move forward because I was so surrendered or I was so in flow and, whatever's meant to be will be. But whatever's meant to happen will also be because of your energy that you put forth into creating that change, right? And so Jed said, yes, it can be elusive for me. Yeah, Jed. And I know, you and I have been working on this a lot, and I feel like you of all people show up to do the work. And I commend you for that. I'm super proud of you. So, people, we want success, we want happiness, right? We want abundance. But what are we willing to sacrifice in order to change the way that our life looks, right? We can't continue to live the life we've been living and then expect, because we're connected to spirit, or because we do ayahuasca, or because we had a hypnotherapist session, or we got some body work done, or we had a Reiki healing done. Okay, everything's going to happen for me now, right? What all of those things are doing is helping to strip away all the resistance and all the blockages that keep us in that disempowered state, right? Or keep us from connecting with our true selves, or keep us receiving our truth, right? Or being in connection with our truth. So what all of those healers are doing, and all of these healing modalities, what you're doing with me, all that we can do is help to strip away all the things that are not of you, so that you can get in touch with who you truly are, right? And find that sense of strength and that potential and that truth from within, because no one else can give you the answers that you have for yourself, right? We can try and model somebody else's path, but at the end of the day, we have to get in touch with the path that is for ourselves. Let's see. Willie Hurtado said, yes, there's no shortcuts, need to put it in the hard work. Absolutely. Michelle said, I've been dealing with this all last week, and I make these grandiose plans, and then boom, hit a wall because I'm afraid of reaching the next level of my ascension and my business. Today I got back on track. Wow, amazing, Michelle. Yes, yes, and I think that that's important to really understand that there is a balance, right? There is a balance between pushing forward and relaxing back into flow, right? Because we can't continue to push, and then burn ourselves out and have no resources and no nourishment in order to create, right? Because then that's not good either. But we can't be so far on the other end of the spectrum where we're so in flow and we're so surrendered, and I'm just taking it easy and I'm gonna let the universe figure it out for me. Like, yeah, we need to have a good balance of both, because from that place, nothing's moving, right? We're sitting there, we're waiting for things to fall into our lap, we're waiting for the universe to deliver things, because we think that we're manifesting and we're thinking positive thoughts and we're visualizing, so everything's going to show up. But this gets to be a co-creative experience. How can we show up 0% and ask the universe to show up the other 100 and be like, you got this, right? You got me, right? You said I'm always taken care of, so I can just sit back, relax, and watch Netflix and binge on my phone and not do anything to get myself in alignment, right? So yeah, no, the universe is like, keep that same energy. If you want me to keep the same energy, you keep that same energy, and come with what you're looking to create and do, and actually take a little bit of effort to step forward into that reality. Amy said, such a powerful distinction. I know I can be complacent about growth. The flow cycle requires effort followed by release and recovery. Yes, yes, yes. I think a lot of times too, Amy, you being a healer in your own right, and Caitlin says, love this. Yes, Caitlin as a coach too, me as a coach too. It's like sometimes people expect us to do all the work. And listen, I'm so here for the work. Like, I'm here to like pour into you until I can't pour into you anymore. But then it's your job to take that energy and create something out of it, right? You have to start adjusting yourself in a way that's an alignment of the life that you're looking to lead, right? So, we need to take action. We have to activate our free will into setting things into motion. And sometimes that's going to feel really uncomfortable, and it'll stretch us beyond our limits, right? And it might even be scary, and it can feel ungrounding. And then our inner child gets triggered and we're like, no, we're unsafe. We can't move forward. Retreat. You know what I mean? And from that place, we feel like, oh, it's out of alignment for us because it doesn't feel good, because I'm scared, because I don't know how to move forward, because I don't want to step out into the unknown, because I don't trust that the universe will be there to support me that other 50%. I'm going to stay here instead, right? That's not being in flow, right? And from that place, we cannot be supported because we're not trusting, right? So the ego, it's a very sneaky thing, the way it likes to creep up and shape shift its way into like a spiritual principle like surrender or being in flow, right? But what it really is our self-sabotaging ego that's whispering to us that we're not good enough, right? That there's no way you can change, that you should just go back to being small and comfortable because that's where it's safe. Let's not do this, right? and and that's when we have to differentiate, and that's when we have to come in as our higher selves and be like, no, we are going to move forward. I don't care if you're uncomfortable. You're going to get used to this, and we're going. And you better pick up your inner child, comfort them, carry them, whatever it is you need to do to start taking baby steps forward in the direction that you want to see your life going, right? And I tell my clients this all the time. You can't go anywhere without your inner child. So you can't yell at it, you can't force it, but you have to, I would say, comfort yourself, honor your emotions, honor your fear, right? And then take leadership in your life and begin to lead yourself in that direction, right? And even if it's a small pivot, maybe it's just, you know what, I'm just going to work on the next, Michelle, I know you're working on the next evolution of your business. I'm just going to work on it for the next hour just to see, right? Just to see how that feels. Yeah, it might feel uncomfortable. And even me, I built a 6-figure business, but now I'm like, okay, how do I scale to multiple 6 figures? Maybe even 7 figures, right? And sometimes that number, that dream, it starts to really scare me. And at one point I saw myself actually during retrograde where I completely stopped working on my business. Like I stopped showing up for my lives on Sundays. I just stopped. And I was like, oh, I'm in flow. I'm surrendered. I'm allowing whatever to be, to transform. But what I was actually doing was avoiding my next step of growth, right? And sometimes that's why it's really good to have a coach or a mentor or a therapist or somebody to hold accountability for you, to continue to pull you forward, to stretch beyond your limits, to grow beyond your sometimes our mental capacity, right? We have these limiting beliefs about ourselves. Well, I can only reach this tier, and that's where I'll stop. Let me stay comfortable with this level that I'm at for a while before I start to scale, before I start to grow, right? That's why it's good to have accountability. Be like, no, you can continue to grow slowly, but surely we can continue to move forward, right? And okay, let me check the comments, see how we're doing here. Let's see. Ma said, yes, balance is everything. I feel right now sometimes I get too much in my spirituality and not having the other side of the balance, right? Yes. So what that is, right? We're too far on the feminine side of relaxation and nourishing, and we're not activating our masculine side of action, right? And moving forward and taking leadership. Caitlin said, wow, that's smart. Things that can feel like alignment end up feeling out of alignment due to it being uncomfortable. Yes. I like to really say, if you're uncomfortable, that means you're growing. So embrace it, right? Don't fill the void, feel the void, right? I love that one. Jed said, what I find interesting is that I have noticed at times I'm comfortable in my avoidance. Ascension, although is wonderful, it is foreign to me. Yes, it is very easy to be comfortable in your avoidance. You're like, you know what? Netflix is good. This couch is comfortable. I'm good. I don't want to keep growing. Healing is hard. Evolving is too much work. Who has the time for this, right? I completely relate. Yes. Awesome. Michelle said, truth bombs. Got to get real with yourself like you would someone else you love. Absolutely. Sometimes that mirror work, that's the realest stuff you can do for yourself. You get in the mirror and be like, hey, how are you not showing up for yourself right now? How are you not showing up for your business? How are you not showing up for your relationship, your friends, right? How are you not showing up for your healing? Are you regressing back to your old patterns? Are you allowing your limiting beliefs to tell you how far you can transcend and how much you can create and your capabilities? Check yourself, right? Or if not, I'm here. I'll check you. No problem. I got you. So yeah, in some instances that I've seen recently also is that I've seen so many people out of alignment with themselves that they've lost their ability to tap into their own inner guidance, right? Because we all have our inner compass. We all have that inner voice. We all have our own intuition that is guiding us towards our path, right? And so then when you're out of alignment with yourself and you've lost trust in your own ability to lead yourself, right? So then that from that place, everyone outside of you has the answers. And so then you're powerless because you can't make a move unless someone tells you to. And if no one tells you to, then you don't move. And that could be, some sort of codependency. Either it could be codependency on spirit, right? Codependency on the universe, codependency on your job. Well, if they don't fire me, I'll just stay, right? Even though it feels out of alignment and I hate my job, I'll just stay until they fire me. Or codependency on a partner, right? Yeah, I don't really like this person, but I'm going to stay until they break up with me. I want them to make the decision, right? Even though I feel this person is out of alignment with me. Or codependency on a friend, right? Whatever you want to do, even though I don't want to do that, Or codependency on ayahuasca, which is something I was guilty of for a long time. I'd be like, ayahuasca, please just tell me what to do. And then she'd kind of just tell me what to do, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'd go back in my life and I'd be like, okay, do it, thanks, I'll just sit here and wait. And for years I call that spinning out with sacred plant medicine, which I have a lot of people that I know that do this, where you just can go sit in ceremony and find healers and find gurus and find all these people to give you the answers, because you yourself cannot take leadership in your life and in your journey and in your own path, right? That's codependency. And the universe does not support you in your codependence. It just doesn't, right? So when we depend on others to give us the roadmap to our destination, right? The truth is no one knows where we're supposed to end up but ourselves, but our own inner being. So of course you can learn and you can observe others' pathways to success. Okay, I can copy that, right? But did you check in with your inner being to see if it's even in alignment with you, right? When you don't know who you are in your essence, in your being, it's hard to trust your own judgment, right? How do you get to know who you are? You sit with yourself. You meditate. You journal. You go within, right? You spend time with you. You stop looking outside of yourself, trying to grasp at other people's energies to fill the void within yourself. Because what you're doing is you're avoiding who you are and what your inner being is trying to communicate with you. And that's why you don't trust yourself, because you haven't taken time to develop that relationship with yourself, right? So trust and believe the universe cannot come in to communicate you, to support you when you're operating from that place of disempowerment. It does not co-sign on that at all. So, let me just check these comments really quick. All right, cool. You guys doing good out there? I know I get so passionate about this because it's something that I've had to do in my own life, right? Because there's so many years of my own experience where I was just like, why isn't anything changing? It's because I was sitting in the same place energetically, spiritually, physically. So, most of my life too, once I've realized I only had to show up 35 to 45% of the time in order for spirit, God, the universe to come in and support me that extra 65, 55%. But a lot of us, we don't trust, right? We don't trust. And believe me, I've been there too. I get it, right? Where you feel like I'm alone in this journey. I was scared, and I felt like if I took that leap into faith, if I took that leap into starting my business, I took that leap into scaling, hiring that coach, investing in myself, moving, right? Moving from New York to San Diego. If I took that leap, I felt like there was going to be no one to catch me. I was going to fall flat on my face, and I was going to be broken and broke, and so, but with trust, like in any relationship, it needs to be developed, right? What if you met somebody on the street today anyone, and you're just like, you're not going to trust them. You just met them. You don't know who they are, right? So you have to build up that trust over time. So what that looks like with the universe is that it means showing up just a little bit and seeing how that works out, right? receiving that support that comes in. And the universe, like I said, is going to come in to match your energy. And then you continue to trust the more that you trust, right? Because you start to see like, oh wow, if I just trust like a little bit, a whole wave of energy comes in to help shift me, to help move me, to help bring in, opportunities or coincidences or supportive people that are going to help me on this journey. Wow. And the more you begin to trust, the more you can begin to let go of that control, of that fear. And the more you can quiet down your ego and be like, no, we're going to be okay. Let's continue to move forward, even if it's scary, even if it's uncomfortable. And the more support that you'll receive, And I think, it's when we lose touch with ourselves, with our own limitless power and our potential, we tend to like overlook our gifts and the opportunities around us, right? So when we look outside of us for cheat codes, but we're discounting our ability to connect to our own truth. So this process, is really, again, like I said, is stripping away all the things that are blocking you from you receiving that truth in yourself, that, you know what, I got to keep moving. I got to keep going. And I'm going to take action even if it's uncomfortable. Because a lot of times the desires that we have that's burning inside of us, that is the guidance. Those are the instructions. Invest in that coach. Build that business, right? Do a live. I did not know if I was going to do this live today, to be honest. But there was something inside of me that was like, you have to do the live. And part of me was like, I don't really feel like doing the live. And I used that exact example to be like, this is the message that needs to come through. Because whoever needs to hear this, whoever is going to receive this transmission, it's going to help them create something beautiful in this world. And so that's what I'm here for, right? I'm just the messenger. So how can we tell the difference between avoidance and surrender? Here's how I like to think about it. When you've shown up and you've exhausted all of your options, and you may even be exhausted, right? You're being told to surrender. When you can see no other pathway and you have hit a wall, you're being asked to surrender. And from that place, take a seat, wait, nourish yourself, go within, find stillness, and wait for the circumstances to be rearranged for you because something's happening. But when you are spending time distracting yourself from the activities that are going to move you forward, right? If the pathway is there and you refuse to look at it, right, and you rather distract yourself with activities that aren't productive or in alignment with achieving the goal, then you're in avoidance. You're going to know the difference, right? So surrender feels really good. Surrender feels like, oh, I'm being loved, I'm being carried, I'm being guided, I'm being supported. I can feel that something is happening for me. So from this place, I can surrender and allow myself to flow with the river of life, right? I always like to use this analogy with my clients. The river, she is flowing down to the sea. Everybody, if you sat in ceremony with me, you know this song. You think about if you're flowing through a river, and you try to grab onto rocks and branches and the dirt, and you're just being thrashed around by the river, and you're getting, pretty fucked up from the river. And that's when you need to surrender, let go, float, and allow the river to carry you down to the sea, right? Which for me represents the oneness, the vastness, the powerful energy of the universe, of spirit, of God. But if you feel yourself avoiding things and then feeling guilty, right? And then beating yourself up, oh, I should have done this, right? Or I could have done that, or I didn't do it because this and that. And you start, feeling that heaviness within you, you're in avoidance. What is that heaviness? That is your inner being trying to push you forward. And that's your ego or your fear or your scarcity trying to hold you back. So there's creating a resistance. And you can feel it very deep in your solar plexus in your body. And that is how you know you're in avoidance. Lindsay said, thank you. I needed this today. Girl, it was for you then. It was for you. Awesome. Do you guys let me know if you can relate? Why did you need this today, Lindsay? I want to hear in the comments. What's going on for you? Michelle, talk to me.